Good day, Ross Jason Beaumont, S103, the 7th, 13th, 2016. Well, we're going to start out with Thrifty Flyers. It says $8.85 or $8.99 a pound. That's a lot of money for a pound of chicken. Buy one, get one free. Plus it has ice cream and stuff like that. And the most recent one. Two military guys standing on our beaches in the Comox Valley. There you go. Well, today we're going to talk about INVEGA SUSTENNA, the side effects. It's been quite a few months. I do one of these every month and do a little report on how my body is and how everything's going. Right now, I still have no real energy. I get up every once in a while and walk around the building. It's about 800 meters at the most. Stop, say hi to whoever there is. Started going to the superstore to get my food rather than take the bus for $4 there and back to go to Thrifty's because they allowed me into the superstore. Talked to a guy named Justin. It's on my YouTube too. All my other side effects is on here. All my comments are on there for my other ones. If you go back and check those comments and what my side effects are, they're pretty much the same. I really haven't lost any weight. I'm still sitting about 260, 250. I don't have a scale to tell you so. I still have gynomasculus or man boobs and fat on the belly of 60 extra pounds, which I had when I started in 2012 for the first treatment, where I was assaulted and several weeks or months later, the RCMP showed up at my door. Instead of charging a city worker for assaulting me in a public place, being a CRA, they came and did it to me instead, just up the smells and whatnot from the dumpsters like you'll see on my 2010 when I decided I was going to quit dumpster diving and continued on for 2 more years because I needed more money before I could go look for a job and have money in the pocket and to have money to eat. Anyhow, here's a picture of me. Man boobs are still there, you can see. Big, huge, both sides. All have to come out. Fat on the belly. And pan down to my legs, pop over there, juice that I got, and muscle mass on the leg has gone down. You see no muscle tone really. From sitting, I sit for 10 so hours a day. Ass gets sore, just like any kid in school. The seat really doesn't have any padding. You can see the gynomasculus there. It's really disgusting to have fat. You can go down my playlist. You can see different things on fat in the body, and it discusses how fat kills you slowly by going into your blood system and causing heart attacks. No wonder they make us fat with INVEGA that turns off your brain so you stop eating, stop thinking, stop breathing properly, taking your health and fitness away from you had before, and say, oh, you look healthy, you're fat. You can get up and walk. You're cardio fit. But if you look at the basic fitness level for a military person or a police officer, I'm unfit. Anybody my age because of the drug in my body. I should have good muscle tone and everything like that. Run once a week or twice a week whenever I feel like it, and work out every day. I cannot work unless I can work out every day and go for at least 1 or 2 runs per week, being anywhere up from a mile to 10 kilometers or a half marathon. Swim in a lake, river, or the pool continuously like I used to and have my personal health. I can't work in this state. It's excessive force what you've done. It's against ethics of being a doctor in Canada, the United States, North America, and the world. There are also human rights violations because my jail cell is my room. I can't look for a livelihood to better feed myself. Being on social services, we get, I think it's $350 a day. You take $190 plus $120 I have for my cable internet, so I can do this and have chat lines and a telephone line and some bit of entertainment, which the internet is just a library and everything should be free, even the downloads. It shouldn't be misled and you go get a download and get a virus. That is not justice. Justice is in a courthouse. If they send a virus to us and wreck our computer systems and our information on our hard drives, that's mischief, and they're in great debt just like any medication lawsuit. They'll be up for a $70 million lawsuit for torture and misleading human beings and unlawful use of a computer or entering a computer without permission and all this other kind of stuff, which I sent to Extra Torrent and a bunch of other different places, such as the Prime Minister of Canada and the Department of Justice as well. On top of this, you look at the long and short of it. You must have a degree to diagnose a human being. In dietitians, it says that mental health, you have to have food first because it's a leading cause of mental health. Meaning, you're not a doctor unless you can get a prescription for food for the people so they can eat. Not turn off the brain, make them fat, say they look healthy. They're sitting there like a zombie because they're chemical lobotomized. You just hurt them for life so they'll never recuperate. You spaded, neutered, chemical castrated them so they have no sex drive in life. You human controlled them now that you're making all the money, they're not. And basically, it's a genocide because they can't have children anymore. And if you did that to, let's say, 1 billion people, that's a pretty big genocide. That's bigger than World War II and one combined almost, isn't it? Since you're doing it to people who have ADT and all this kind of stuff. And being a testosterone prohibitor, dropping the testosterone on a man, and you just haven't had estrogen really into it because it causes obesity and fatness because the boobs grow. And that's how you're making transgenders in the world. That's why we have transgenders, because it's a sex change drug, any anti-testosterone prohibitor, if you look that up too, that, hey, this is intending to harm the Canadian citizens or the world, North America. I live in North America. I've had people from Europe and Spain say the same thing of being on drugs, and that's right. Yellow semen means it's dead, and just like my past video as well. You knew the intent of what it does to somebody, then you're fully responsible for any actions that happen to you. Right now in Germany, there is a World War II vet, was 14 at the time in World War II, paying for telling people to go into, death showers or whatnot during the killing or how they killed them. Every act against humanity is listed already from World War II. Before that, when Sigmund Freud did it, and Mr. Freeman with lobotomies, every psych ward, sanitarium, psychological institution, or institution such as a care home that over-medicated and harmed human beings, every act is in there. Residential school, Catholic boarding schools where boys got raped by priests as well, and so forth. It's all in there. It's all written down, proven in the court of law what all this is, and it's still going on. INVEGA should be taken off the market because it's a Sigmund Freud or a WW2, World War II, Nazi event where the doctors shot themselves in the head according to the information on my YouTube. Part of the thesis of having your references there are all there, that you can look them up and find them yourself on some server as well. Have a good time looking them up. It's all the truth. Legal documents, because news teams and documentaries have put this stuff out there for the people to know. Meaning, it has to be legal information on there as well. False news and accusations. Once proven it's false news and accusations, they lose their broadcasting rights in the court of law and have to find a new broadcasting license to do so. Thank goodness for YouTube, we can do it without a license because we're a private thing. We're not a company making money by advertisements. Yep. Gun control, part of the Third Reich too, and many things. And we all know wars have always been here Since biblical times and before that, weapons were made to do one thing: take out people quicker and better. That's all things are. From sticks and stones, cannons and rifles, and spears and pikes, to chemical weapons and water and foods to kill people. All designed, even psychological abuse. Why people go postal? Psychological abusing somebody so they go absolutely insane by different smells, making their life difficult, and everything else. It's all on there. You can look it up, Google it, Facebook it, and YouTube it. I've put all the references on there so you can look them up as well. Like I said, acts against humanity, these drugs shouldn't be on the market. I can't handle obesity. It's psychologically harming and draining me. Physically, it's like pus on the body. And harm to me that I can't be physically fit anymore because some doctor chose to kill me with a gun called a needle with a chemical weapon in it that harmed me. Unethical completely that he plays judge. A doctor or two doctors, according to UBC health laws, doesn't have jurisdiction over federal law in the Justice Department in an assessment order. A judge does and a jury to execute somebody in a death sentence. They don't even have that power. And all laws as well, as said to the Justice Department, can't be there in the mental health disorder to give two doctors that type of authority to kill and execute a human being and call them or call it justice. That's a little unfair. There's no fair and equal protection before and after the law. Human right violations or Charter of Rights. Looking out the window right now because people are passing by and they're looking at me and throwing me some attention. Because biblical time of the Ten Commandments too, I shall not kill, I shall not steal, and I shall not try to convert thy neighbor to gayness, transgender, poverty, to control their lives and steal their lives but not giving them a livelihood in the modern day because we have the power, who works and who doesn't, and it's all human control. Government controls the wages, the housing, inflation, and all that kind of stuff, and who knows, every business is a government business and they're just choosing who works for the government agencies and who they call privatization, being all the box stores and mom and pop stores out there. Go through all my stuff, top to bottom, you'll hear me talking. That's me explaining my version of it and what I've read and seen on every reference that I've looked at. Laws I've read, or Dictionary of the Law, being the Canadian Criminal Code book, and listening to Michael Mulligan's law firm down in Victoria, an old schoolmate that I barely know too, just in passing and gone on ski trips with 4 times a year. It was always nice to me. We both had Commodore 64s. He got an Amiga, and maybe traded one game, and that's it. Because he didn't like to, I guess because his dad was a lawyer, copyright infringements back then, or pirating. He didn't want to break the laws. Talking about copyright and the viruses as well, like I said, a library buys books, the government, for the people. Just like the internet, a download site, somebody's bought these videos, put them on a download site. It's a library, free for all to take. If the movie industry makes $1 billion a year or $2 billion a year off the 100 movies they make or 6 movies they make, they could pay off the national debt in 5 seconds. They don't need any more money because that's the amount of people that are going to theaters and buying these movies. Just like the government does. And the Institution of the Blind dictates in the law that all books and information have to be on tape. So one can hear it, not in braille, but so they can hear the laws out loud. To be legal as well as written. So all can understand it because the way it's worded. And every definition in the thesaurus as well, so people can understand it because there's 10 words for one word, or one word for a phrase of words put together, like procrastination, one who waits to the last second. And infrastructure of society, we're being taxed double for it. We pay our house taxes and service taxes, and then we have to pay for the services as well, like our cable and internet, and we've already paid for that as well. I ain't being rude in this country when I can't understand somebody on the phone who's in an administration because it's an operator on the phone of some company and we can't understand what they're saying by their accents. If you can't speak fluent English, it says in the universities you cannot have a degree at all. I've read it this morning on the University of Saskatchewan's, or Saskatoon I call it, website. You all take care today. Understand that INVEGA is an act against humanity, and everything I've gone through for 16 years of excessive force, like you can see in all my other videos. It's a little pathetic of family violence, being assaulted your entire life and not having the proper foods in your system, or life. When a parent puts more money away in RSPs to look after themselves, or the government dictating that you need less than minimum wage to live, or minimum wage when you need double that, and like serfdom, never owning a piece of property, they say in that time, and all information of the past is about nobility and monarchs, not about the peasants. And they got tons of it, according to European history that I have on my playlist too. There's Russian stuff on there, history about guns, self-defense of guns, self-defense of hand-to-hand combat, and knives as well. You can also see health and fitness and men's health as well. Telling you about hormones being turned on and off on a human being, like I said, forcing a sex change on somebody that they don't want because they're a man, losing their sex drive and enjoyment of life, or being a functional human being, making them retarded-like because they can't get up and walk around, defend themselves, fend for themselves, or even live in society. Thank you for listening. You did. Have a great day. Hope you understand laws, ethics, and human rights violations of life. One doesn't need to go through World War II. We just learn from it, from the history classes we took from K to 12. If you haven't taught us properly before grade 12, then I guess it doesn't exist, and you're just trying to harm us in some other way with society. Really, it doesn't make sense what I went through and what kind of pain it is to try to find a job in this society and not get paid out by a bunch of actors trying to pretend to be a racial discrimination team and make me go through this pain and suffering of INVEGA and obesity and everything else like that. A loss of life, a genocide. In the Comox Valley or British Columbia, Canada. On the West Coast,